Hello, and welcome back to Librarian of the Rings, and a very special happy birthday to the professor himself. Today is January 3rd, 2026. It is Tolkien's 134th birthday, so make sure that today you do give a toast to the professor. At 9 o'clock, your local time, you should stand up, raise your glass, say the professor, and take a sip. And that is how the Tolkien Society recommends you celebrate Tolkien's birthday each year on January 3rd. But I thought this was a good opportunity to take a look at the future for 2026 and see what Lord of the Rings types things are going to be coming out this year. Now, there was a time when 2026 looked like it was slated to be just a massive year for the Lord of the Rings, because when The Hunt for Gollum was initially announced, it was thought that it would be coming out in 2026. We now know that that's probably looking at the very end of 2027, actually. So 2026, probably always a really ambitious goal for that. There will, however, probably be a lot of news coming out around that as far as casting and filming kicking off and things really getting started for The Hunt for Gollum. So that will be something that you'll want to keep track of during 2026, even though it won't be coming out. It was also thought that in 2026, The Rings of Power Season 3 would be coming out, but that is looking less and less likely. They just wrapped up filming in December for season 3, and so that is not looking like it will probably come out until 2027 timeframe, because it does take a long time to edit those episodes. So hard to know at this point for sure, but it looks like we might be waiting on the Rings of Power as well. So what is coming out this year then? Well, there's a few things, and of course one that I'm very excited about, which we've talked about before. The first thing, though, that's kind of on our docket coming up right away is the release in theaters of the extended editions of the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. These are coming out here in the next couple of weeks in select theaters, and they are the extended editions, and you'll be able to watch them over the course of the last couple of weekends of January. Unfortunately, I am not in a place or position where I'm able to do that. Of course, it is a huge time commitment, and also you need to be someplace where they will be showing at a time that works for you. But go ahead and check out your local listings to see if you are able to do that, because it is a very rare opportunity to do this. Then looking forward, it looks pretty likely that we are finally going to get the Minas Tirith Lego set. It should be an absolutely massive Lego set, larger in scale than Rivendell or Barad-dûr, coming out sometime probably in the spring or maybe early summer this next year. That is something that everybody's been waiting for a while and pretty excited about, and likely there will probably be some other small set along with it as well, a gift with purchase, and maybe another book nook or something like that, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we come to the end of summer, and probably what I would say is the biggest release for Middle-earth this year, and that is the Hobbit set in Magic the Gathering. Now, 3 years ago, we had the Lord of the Rings set in Magic the Gathering. That was what got me started playing Magic to begin with, and it was an absolutely incredible set. You know, I've made a lot of content around the different cards in that set. And with The Hobbit coming up, that is going to be an absolutely amazing time, I am guessing, because they did a really good job on the Lord of the Rings. Now, there's been a lot of controversy around Magic the Gathering's Universes Beyond recently, with some of the directions they've taken with things like Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I think that the universe of Middle-earth fits so well with Magic the Gathering, especially since Middle-earth was really the inspiration for most of the fantasy that came after it, that it fits in very well, and I expect the Hobbit set to be an absolutely killer and amazing set. Of course, Wizards could mess it up. There's always that chance, but really looking forward to seeing what they do here if they are able to continue in the same vein that they did the Lord of the Rings. And that is probably the biggest thing that will come out this year, unless at the very end of the year they are able to get the Rings of Power out. If season 3 of the Rings of Power comes out, of course that will be huge. Lots of controversy, of course, always with the Rings of Power, but it will be a really big thing happening in the fandom. There are, I'm sure, going to be a few other things that are going to happen. The Two Towers trick-taking game, which is the sequel to the Fellowship trick-taking game, is going to be out here shortly at the beginning of the year, and then I don't know when the Return of the King would be coming out for that, but it may be later in 2026 or possibly in 2027. The other thing that could happen, but really there haven't been any definitive rumors on this at this point, would be an update to the Tales of the Shire video game, which would be really nice, as most of us have probably quickly run through the content that was in the original game, and it would be great to get a DLC for that that could maybe expand us into Hobbiton or something like that. But I'm not holding my breath, as it seems like Tales of the Shire probably didn't sell as well as what I was really hoping for, and they will probably have a real lot on their plate as they ramp up for the Hunt for Gollum film. And then of course with the Hunt for Gollum, we really have no idea at this point how the acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix might impact that. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about how it might impact Harry Potter because of the HBO reboot that's going on with Harry Potter right now. But of course, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema are part of that package coming into Netflix if that deal ends up going through completely. And so there's just no way of knowing how that might impact the Hunt for Gollum or future Lord of the Rings films down the road. So we'll need to be keeping track of that as well to kind of see where we end up. Okay, that's what it's looking like in 2026 for Middle-earth. Let me know if I missed anything down below. And until next time, farewell wherever you fare. May your ears receive you at your journey's end.